We're down in the Design District. We're at 1643 Dragon Street at Inessa Stewart's Antiques and Interiors, and we have the privilege and pleasure of being with one of the owners, John Stewart. John, how are you today?
I'm doing great, and how are you?
Super. John, tell the viewers about the store.
Well, Inessa and I started this business over 23 years ago. It was just she and I, and we started out in a booth in a gallery, and now have expanded our operation to include two 25,000 square foot showrooms. This is one of those in the Dallas Design District on the corner of Dragon and Oaklawn. Our other is in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, about an hour from the New Orleans International Airport. The unique thing about our business is Inessa is the only buyer. I accompany her on some of our buying trips, but she hand selects every single piece in our entire inventory, and that's no small feat, because this is a lot of inventory. And we also have our own in-house restoration staff that does the custom work as well, and one staff in Baton Rouge and one staff in Dallas. And we do some very interesting things with antiques, and we also restore these antiques to their former glory so that they'll last for another century or two, sometimes maybe 3 centuries. So these are items that you can give to your grandchildren, and your grandchildren give them to their grandchildren. And that we pride ourselves on basically selling keepsakes.
You know, it's a beautiful store. Can you just show us a few items before we leave today?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's do it. So John, I saw you giving a demo to one of your customers before we got started with the filming of this particular piece. You've got to show the viewers this. Please tell the viewers about this.
This is an example of one of the things we do with our custom job in the back. This is a 150-year-old solid walnut hand-carved buffet. We've replaced the top and inserted a mechanism which allows you to install a large flat panel TV in it. And with a remote control, you can bring the TV up for viewing. When you're finished, you can retract it back again and have a beautiful antique buffet in the place where once was your entertainment center.
Wow. Boy, you guys think of everything. John, I'm absolutely mesmerized by this queen bed. It's just absolutely gorgeous, and the viewers, you know, you can't say enough about it. I hope we can get the detail on the film, but tell the viewers about this bed and also the other styles that you do carry in the store.
Yeah, this bed was produced during the Napoleon III period, and it has elements of both the Henry II and the Louis XVI style on it, but it's completely hand-carved from solid walnut. And like I said before, Inessa is the only buyer, and she purposely seeks out beds that are already wide enough to where all we have to do is extend the rails and it'll accommodate a modern queen-size mattress set. This is just one of the styles we represent. We have all styles, from very, very rustic pieces to very, very refined pieces, in every kind of imaginable style that has ever emanated from the continent of Europe. This is a Gothic style right here. This is a particularly unique piece because it has these interesting drawers on each side, as well as the cabinet and the drawers in the front, which are normal. But as you can see, we have Louis XVI style back here, we have Napoleon III, we have Louis XIV, we have Gothic, we have Italian Renaissance here to your left. We've got the Louis Philippe mirrors against the wall in the back. We've just got an amazing assortment of all styles, shapes, sizes, price budget ranges, everything.
John, these are buffets. They must have come out of some mansion somewhere in Europe.
Exactly. They came out of northern Italy, near Milan. And it was obviously a huge villa because these are in very high scale. They're very high and they're very wide. But imagine having enough room on your wall for 2 of these, plus all the other pieces in the room, like the dining table and probably 12 chairs. God knows what else was involved in the whole thing. It's just amazing. We specialize in pairs like this. We have pairs of amazing things. We've had pairs of armoires before, pairs of commodes, pairs of antique mirrors, which you see above it. We've got pairs of things that you normally don't expect to see in the antique world.
John, what a beautiful armoire.
Yeah, this happens to be Inessa's favorite. She actually got it from a friend of ours in Europe who was an antique collector, and he's no longer involved in that. He's getting on a few on in years. But this one is extremely unusual, one-of-a-kind piece. It depicts a baby or a cherub form of St. George slaying the dragon. And the feet are not the typical lion's paw feet. They are full-bred lions, reclining lions, supporting the base. Just an absolutely exquisite piece, completely hand-carved.
It must have taken the wood crafter just an immense amount of time to do this, particularly in those days.
Absolutely, and it's also done with this very, very old-growth oak. And the old-growth oak has a much denser grain, and it's actually harder than walnut, so it's very difficult to carve, but when you're finished, it results in a product that's very long-lived. And you can preserve this piece for hundreds of years. This piece itself will be 300 years very soon, 300 years old.
John, it looks like we have identical bookcases, but you're going to tell the audience and me that they're similar, but not exactly alike. So go ahead, John, tell the viewers what this is all about.
Well, these were obviously custom made, a one-off, if you will, and they were designed to commemorate the city origins of the man and the wife that they were given to. One was from Gambia and one was from Siena. And their family crests were combined on this particular piece here, so the two pieces on the bottom, the carvings are different. But there's an etched carving on the back panels here, there's bas-relief carving here, there's intaglio carving here, and full relief carving on the front. Each gradation is a slightly shorter space until you get to this beautiful crown on the top. All of them are completely hand carved out of solid Italian walnut by master artisans.
Absolutely gorgeous, John. I mean, you know, you just can't, you know, when you're sitting here looking at this today, so many years old, there were no machines to help the woodcrafter. They did all this by hand, and the measurements and everything are exact, you can tell are exact, but they didn't have the same methods that we have today.
That's correct. Actually, these cabinets look identical, but they're not for the carvings that I pointed out. And one of the cabinets is 1.5 inches less wide than the other. So the parts are not interchangeable. You must assemble these things one piece at a time very carefully, and each part on this one is not interchangeable with this side.